Journals are for collecting your ideas. They can help you know yourself and what you believe. They can help you figure out the world and your place in it. But there's a special way to keep a journal which makes it the best and most romantic gift you could ever give. That is an Eros Journal or a journal of love letters. Hey, welcome to ParkNotes. I'm Parker Sedecase. I'm a philosophy student, and this is a channel where I help you study and think more deeply. In this video, I'm going to show you the most romantic way to keep a journal. This is a journal that I started writing to my future wife 3 years before I met her and 4.5 years before we got married. It's my Eros Journal, my book of love that I gave to her on our wedding night. So make sure you watch the full video because I'm going to run through C.S. Lewis's 4 Loves. I'll explain exactly what this Eros Journal is, and I'll describe the key features that you should include in yours. This video is sponsored by Brilliant, but more on that later. Let's jump right in. Okay, so let's get right into it. This is the most romantic way that you can use a journal. It's to create a journal for the one you love. Now, our English word love can mean a lot of different things, but the Greeks actually had 4 different words for love, which C.S. Lewis recounts in his amazing book, The 4 Loves. I highly recommend this book. It's really good. So let me run through C.S. Lewis's 4 conceptions of love based on the 4 Greek words for love. First up is storge. Storge is fondness, empathy, familial type love. The best example here is the love between a parent and a child. There is a fondness which is present without coercion, and these two are bonded almost by chance. The parent doesn't choose to love the child doesn't choose to love the parent. It just is a natural process based on the relationship they find themselves in. In this kind of fondness, affectionate, familial love, there's both need love and gift love. It needs to be received and it needs to be given if we're going to flourish well. Next up is filial love, and this is the kind of love enjoyed in the bonds of friendship. Now, where storge love often results from biological relations to one another, this philia friendship love is the strong bond of love existing between people who share common values, interests, and activities. So this kind of love is often more based on choice. And this reminds me of the deep friendship love that I have for Brilliant. Brilliant is a free and easy way to learn math, data science, and computer science all interactively. Brilliant is actually fun, with thousands of lessons from basics to advanced topics, and there's new lessons added every single month. Whatever your skill level, Brilliant customizes content to fit your needs and lets you solve at your own pace. So right now I'm studying the philosophy of artificial intelligence. And that means I need to learn a little bit about computer science. Thankfully, Brilliant offers courses in computer science. Right now, I just started their course, Computer Science Fundamentals. And it's teaching me the fundamentals of computer science so that I can talk about the philosophy of artificial intelligence and the philosophy of mind with those thinking about it from a computer science perspective. And right now, my viewers can get started free for 30 days, and the first 200 to sign up get 20% off an annual plan. You can sign up through my link, brilliant.org/ParkNotes. That's brilliant.org/ParkNotes. You can find the link in the description or in the pinned comment. Next up, let's skip down to agape love. This is the God love. This is unconditional love or charity. And it's the kind of love that exists regardless of changing circumstances. This is the highest calling for any kind of love. C.S. Lewis calls this the greatest of the 4 loves and sees it as the goal for the Christian life, the specific virtue that the Christian ought to aim at achieving, even if we may never get there. Now, I just want to note that one of my old professors, D.A. Carson, wrote a great book, The Difficult Doctrine of the Love of God. In this book, Dr. Carson does a word study on the 4 Greek words for love as they're used throughout the whole New Testament. And he finds that while there are 4 words for love, they're actually used in 5 different ways throughout the New Testament. But that's particularly in reference to the love of God. So I recommend this book as well. So now we have storge, philia, agape, and what's most important for us, eros. Eros, according to C.S. Lewis, is romantic love. This sense of romantic love has to do with being in love or loving someone rather than just like raw sexual desire or infatuation. And it's this romantic love that I'll have in mind for the rest of the video as I help you keep a journal of Eros for the one you love. So I created this journal of love for my wife, but I started it 3 years before I met her and 5 years before we got married. So while I started it with my wife in mind, I didn't know who she was going to be. I started writing to my future wife. Now, I thought this was pretty romantic, and so did my wife. I started it in order to give to my wife on our wedding night. And I told her, I love you more than you know. I started on Thursday, December 19th, 2013 at 11:53 a.m. And I didn't meet my wife Julie until the summer of 2016. And we got married in the winter of 2018. So for like 3 years, I was writing in this journal without knowing who my future wife was going to be. I started this process because one of my mentors in college told me about these love letters that he was writing to his wife. As he was reading his Bible and praying for his future wife, he thought, I might as well record these so I can share them with her when I meet her and when we get married. So I thought this was an amazing idea. I started doing it myself, but I didn't want to lose these letters and I tend to crumple things up with my hands. So I decided to get a journal and put all the love letters into one spot. Now you may be looking at this journal and seeing how gross it is and thinking, hey, maybe you should have done letters because this thing's pretty nasty. It's actually this gross because it was next to my wife's salt lamp. And we had a bunch of turtle tanks in our room and it started dripping, so somehow infused a bunch of salt into the journal and wrecked the cover. So if any of you know a good leather rebinder, let me know in the comments because I would love to get rid of this salt-infused flaky cover. So I don't want you guys reading this. This is meant for my wife's eyes only, but I'll just skip through here. Hopefully you can't read any of that. And see, these are just short little entries. Now again, this was a journal for my future wife. Once I realized I wanted to marry Julie, I started writing Julie's name in there, but before that it was just addressed to my wife or whatever pet names I was using in the entries. Not going to say it because that's too cringy. But once I knew I wanted to marry Julie, I started using her name. Now I recognize that can be kind of scary if you're writing to a future spouse and you're doing all this work and then you write someone's name in there and then it doesn't work out. Did I just ruin this journal? Well, no, you can just scratch that out or you can rip out the pages or you might want to scratch that out and keep it in there for your actual future spouse to see, hey, I almost went with this one, but actually it was you I had in mind. That's still pretty romantic. So you can do this for your future husband, your future wife, or if you're already married, it's not too late to start now. You can start your own journal of Eros today. Start keeping your own journal of love letters for your significant other. But what kind of things should you include in your journal? Well, here's a list of things that I included. My thoughts on love and life and what I want my future to look like, how I'm imagining my life to go, maybe how many kids I want, what you would like your future life to look like with your significant other. You might even find that when you look back on this, you and your spouse have a really good laugh about it. You can also include time-bound feelings. This is more diary-esque. Hey, here's what I'm feeling today. Hey, I was thinking about how lonely I am without you. Hey, when are you going to come along? When's God going to bring you into my life? This is a way of keeping a record of your own emotions and giving your loved one a deeper look into your soul. You can include life events, hard stuff that happened, good stuff that happened, promotions, deaths. Here's what happened to me today. Again, just to keep a record and to be more fully known by your loved one. I'm a Christian, so I included prayers. I prayed for my wife and I prayed for my future family. But I also prayed for myself. Lord, make me a good man. Make me a good husband. Help me become the type of man who can be a good husband to my future wife. You may also think about keeping epigraphs. Now, an epigraph is just a short quotation or saying at the beginning of a book or chapter intended to suggest its theme. I love epigraphs. I wish every chapter in every book had epigraphs. So I added them into this journal as well. Here from September 4th, 2017, I added an epigraph from C.S. Lewis's Surprised by Joy. Nothing, I suspect, is more astonishing in any man's life than the discovery that there do exist people very, very like himself. Now, I thought this was a great epigraph for my wife because she's so much like me, and I didn't think I'd find someone like me. I know it's for my wife because it's 2017, and I met her in 2016. I had already planned on marrying her at this point, so I started addressing it to her. You can see I use her name right here. So those are epigraphs. Here I have a quick little poem that I wrote for her, and that's the next on the list. Poems, either collected or generated from yourself. Even if they're not very good, it shows the one you love that you're thinking about them. You may also include song lyrics, and finally, undying promises and devotions. So that's it. It's a pretty simple concept. Keep a journal of love letters. Keep a journal of Eros for your future spouse or your current loved one. I keep this in my nightstand and I continue to write in it for my wife. When I have a new entry, I take it out and put it on her nightstand so she knows that there's a new entry for her to read. I did end up giving this to her on our wedding night and she was supposed to slowly read it over the course of our first year of marriage, but she read it all in the first night. So that was kind of bogus, but it's a gift. I gave it to her. It's hers to read when she wants to read it. All right, so that's it. That's the most romantic way that you can keep a journal. I hope you guys like that idea. I can tell you from personal experience, my wife absolutely loves this journal. Now, if you guys made it this far in the video, you are awesome. Leave me a little notebook emoji or maybe like one of those little hand heart emoji things. I always love seeing who the real ones are. If you like this video, then leave me a like. Make sure to leave me a comment if you've done something similar or if you plan on using this method yourself. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. All right, that's going to have to do it for now. I'll catch you guys next time.